The medical bay of the celestial dawn hummed with alien technology that Leo barely understood. Crystalline interfaces pulsed with bioluminescent data, displaying his vital signs in languages both ancient and incomprehensible. He lay motionless on the recovery pod, his chest rising and falling in shallow breaths, each one a victory against the Krell venom coursing through his veins. Isabella stood beside him, her hand wrapped around his with a grip that could crush steel. Her knuckles were white, her jaw set in that familiar expression Leo had come to recognize over there. 3 years of partnership, look she wore before doing something spectacularly dangerous and utterly brilliant. The doctors say you have 72 hours, she said quietly, her voice barely above a whisper. The venom is spreading faster than their nanobots can neutralize it. Leo managed a weak smile. Well, that's longer than I expected after tangling with the Krell sovereign. Don't, her voice cracked. Don't make jokes right now. He squeezed her hand with what little strength remained. They'd been an unlikely pair from the start, to humans in a galaxy that considered their species primitive upstarts, barely worthy of a seat at the Galactic Council. Isabella, the daughter of Earth's first ambassador to the stars, brilliant and fierce. Leo, an orphan from the Mars colonies, who'd talked his way onto an exploration vessel and never looked back. Isabella, he whispered, if this is it, it's not. Her eyes blazed with something primal, something that made the Zenthari nurse monitoring his vitals take an involuntary step backward. If you die, Leo, I'll burn the galaxy. I'll reduce every Krell world to ash. I'll make them remember why humanity clawed its way out of old Earth's gravity well. I'll make them fear us. She leaned closer, her breath warm against his cooling skin. If you die, I'll burn the galaxy, she whispered again. And in her voice, Leo heard the echoes of human history of a species that had survived ice ages and plagues, world wars and nuclear fire, who'd looked at the stars and decided they belonged there too. He believed her. The thing about humans, the other species whispered in their council chambers and trading posts, was that they were unstable, too emotional, too prone to violence, too protective of their own. The Krell had discovered this truth too late when they'd ambushed the human diplomatic mission. Thinking 2 young humans would be easy prey, they'd killed 3 of Isabella's security team before Leo had thrown himself between her and a plasma bolt, taking the hit meant for her heart. The Krell hadn't expected him to survive even that long. They certainly hadn't expected Isabella to kill 7 of them, with nothing but a broken chair leg and blind fury, before their reinforcements arrived. Now, as Leo's condition deteriorated, despite the best medical technology for star systems could provide, Isabella made a call. Admiral Zhang, she said into her comm device, her voice steady despite the storm in her eyes. I'm invoking Article 7 of the Human Protection Accords. Leo's eyes widened. Article 7. The one rule the Galactic Council had forced humanity to accept as the price of admission. Humans could not wage war without Council approval, but Article 7 had a corollary, one that the elder species had thought was merely symbolic. If Council medical intervention failed to save a human life taken by hostile action, humanity reserved the right to proportional response. The Council had laughed when that clause was added. Humans had no real fleet, no weapons that could threaten established empires. It was an empty gesture to soothe primitive pride. They'd forgotten how quickly humans learned, how fast they adapted. Confirmed, Admiral Zhang's voice crackled back. The Third Fleet is already moving into position. We'll be at the Krell homeworld in 16 hours. But Isabella, we need you to reconsider. This could mean I know exactly what it means, Isabella interrupted. And I mean every word. Either their healers save him, or I'll personally pilot the first strike. The Zenthari nurse fled the room. Within minutes, the Council emergency session had been called. Within an hour, every Krell medical expert in the quadrant was being diverted to the Celestial Dawn. The Krell ambassador arrived personally, flanked by their most skilled physicians, their translator device stammering in panic. We did not authorize the attack. Rogue elements. We will surrender them for justice. Please, call off your fleet. Isabella didn't even look at them. Save him first, then we'll talk. For 68 hours, they worked. Krell biotechnology, human stubbornness, Zenthari, neural sters, and Oxian cellular reconstructors, all combined in a desperate symphony of medicine. Isabella never left Leo's side, never slept, her hand always in his. The galaxy watched and waited. The human Third Fleet held position at the edge of Krell space, weapons armed, crews ready. Every species with a stake in galactic stability held their breath. On the 69th hour, Leo's eyes opened. "Hey," he croaked, his voice rough but alive. Wonderfully alive. Isabella's composure finally shattered. Tears streamed down her face as she pressed her forehead to his. "Hey, yourself, you idiot. Did you really threaten to burn the galaxy?" "I promised to burn the galaxy," she corrected. "There's a difference." Leo laughed, which hurt, but the pain meant he was alive to feel it. "Remind me never to die." "Good plan." She kissed him then, fierce and desperate, and full of all the words they'd never quite said to each other. The Krell ambassador cleared their throat awkwardly. We have delivered the attackers for human justice. We hope this incident can be resolved peacefully." Isabella finally looked at them, and the ambassador flinched. "It can," she said softly, "because he lived. But make sure every Krell from here to the galactic rim understands this. Humanity protects its own, always. And if you ever threaten one of us again, you'll discover exactly how creative we can be with proportional response." The ambassador fled. Later, after the diplomats had gone and the crisis had passed, Leo squeezed Isabella's hand. "You know the Council will use this against us. Say we're too dangerous, too violent." "Let them try," Isabella replied, her eyes fierce. "They'll learn what every bully in human history has learned. We didn't claw our way to the stars to bow to anyone. We're humanity, and we never, ever leave our people behind." In the darkness of space, the Third Fleet turned for home. Their weapons unfired, but their message delivered. The galaxy had been warned. End.